सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Om. In today's class, we will learn all about what is this Atma or my real self. We all know about ourselves, but according to Vedanta, what we know is not about our real self, but is about our transactional self, according to Vedanta, the unreal or the pseudo self. Whereas the real self in all of us is the Atma. It is invisible, it is immortal, it is the inner essence in all of us. In the previous classes, we studied about the three bodies, about avastatraya, about panchakosha, and we realized one thing, that all the three bodies are made up of matter, and because it is made up of matter, it is inert in nature, which means my body and mind does not have consciousness of its own, and also it does not have the ability to produce consciousness. But what is my experience? I can see, I can feel, I can touch, I can walk, I can talk. That means I'm conscious, I'm alive. So that means my experience is other than what is true. As body and mind, which is made up of matter, it should be inert, which means there is somebody that has lent me consciousness. Who is this lender of consciousness? We will call it the Dena Bank. That somebody who has lent consciousness and makes this body of mine alive. And if I should use a word used in Vedanta, it is called sentient. So the Kenopanishad, there are many Upanishads. The Kenopanishad is one of the smallest Upanishads. Somebody has described it as a sugar Kenopanishad. Swami Anubhavananda calls it sugar Keno because it is so sweet. Swami Paramarthananda calls it like a chili, very small, but very strong. Very strong in the sense, even though it is extremely brief in nature, it has the ability to give you Vedantic wisdom in a manner, I can tell you, no other Upanishad can do. This is the greatness of Kenopanishad. And the Kenopanishad begins with a question by the student to the teacher. Oh my Lord, Om Keneshitam. What is that principle because of which my mind is functioning? I'm alive, I'm able to, my mind is functioning, my prana, that means all my physiology is working. There is this life force in me. I can speak, I can see, I can hear. What is that which makes me alive? So the answer to this is, what is this Atma Tattva or my real self? That means my body mind is only an instrument for me to communicate really of a lower order of reality compared to this Atma or my higher self. So how does Tattva Bodha, which is the text that we are studying, how does it define my real self or Atma? So Tattva Bodha says, Atma is other than the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. It is other than the five sheets. It is other than the Panchakosha. It is the witness of the three states of consciousness. It is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. In English, it could be translated as existence, consciousness, or bliss. So this is the definition in Sanskrit. Atma kaha. So the student asks, what is this Atma? The teacher gives a very crisp answer. Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirad Vyatiriktaha. Other than these three bodies, Pancha Kosha Titaha, free from the five koshas, Sun, Avastha Traya Sakshi, the witness of the three states, Satchidananda Rupa, San, Yat Tishtati Sa Atma. That is how Tattva Bodha defines our real nature. What does it mean? While our body is material in nature, the Atma is non-material. Sometimes the Atma is referred to as the soul. Now, whenever somebody dies, they say the Atma has left the body. So wherever the Atma is, may he be in peace. Now, but we know, and we will see in this class, that Atma will not go anywhere. Even the dead body has got Atma. So that word soul becomes very difficult to translate in or to be able to understand in Advaita Vedanta, because what are we talking to? See, when a person dies, it is the subtle body. It's like the SIM card that is detached from the telephone. It is the subtle body and the causal body that leaves. So in a way, if you want to describe what leaves the body is the subtle body. So in Vedanta, and our teacher Swami Paramarthananda strongly discourages the uses of the word soul. So what is the best word for Atma? Is Atma itself, my near real self. It is of the nature of consciousness. It is non-material in nature, and because it is non-material, it does not have any properties of matter. And because it does not have any properties of matter, it has no attributes. It has got no size, no shape, no weight, no location, and therefore it is nirguna. If you understand what is nirguna, this is a mind-boggling principle. The other important thing about this Atma is it is independent of matter. That means whether it is not because it does not exist because of matter. It is independent of matter. That means even if matter perishes, Atma or consciousness continues to exist. It is beyond time, it is beyond space. When it is beyond time, we call it Nithya. That means Atma has been there from the very beginning. If there is a beginning, it will be there even after the body perishes. It is sarvagatha. That means it is everywhere. You cannot say where Atma is not. And Atma is only one, ekam or ekaha, and it is advitiya. Very difficult word to explain and understand. But for the time being, we will take it as not two. For example, the singer and the song, the dancer and the dance, are they two things? The creator and the creation, are they two things? So the dreamer and the dream, are they two things? Although in dream, I see a dream world which is apart from me. So that when you wake up from your dream, the dream world has resolved into you. When we wake up into Turiya or understanding of our true nature, this whole world, I realize, is just like a dream. It is only my creation. It is only my projection. It is not apart from me. And that is the meaning of advitiya. And these are all the great points that we should know about Atma. There is something that Swamiji drills into our head again and again. Now, for example, you're seeing my hand. You're seeing my hand because there is light on my hand. Is light part of my hand? No. Is it a product of my hand? No. Is it a property of my hand? No. It is an independent entity because of which you're able to see my hand, right? If I remove my hand, now does the light disappear? The light does not disappear. It continues to be there, but it is not perceived like you can perceive the light on my hand for want of a medium. So it cannot be compared to that, but for want of something, I'll use the same comparison between my body and consciousness. Consciousness or Atma is not a part of my body, is not a property of my body, is not a product of my body. It is an independent entity which pervades this body and enlivens this body. It enlivens my subtle mind and therefore a gross mind. Consciousness is not limited to the boundaries of the body. In the last slide, I told you it is sarvagatha. It is everywhere, but it is there inside and outside my body. Even when this body drops, consciousness continues to survive, but the surviving consciousness will not be accessible for want of a medium. It needs a medium, just like the hand and the light example. Now, having got to know this, now can I ask you a few questions and I want you to answer. What is this Atma? I have answered, so you know the answer. Where is it located? You know. What is my relationship to Atma? All these questions should be in your mind. I want you to answer all these questions. I'm going to address each of them very quickly. what is this nature of this knowledge? This knowledge, which is called Atma Vidya, is very different from any other knowledge that we can go to a school and a college and learn. Because there we learn about the objective world, about something apart from me. Here, when we come to a Vedanta class, the teacher is talking about myself, not about my body, about the real self, the one who is listening. So that is the uniqueness about the nature of this knowledge. How do we know? I've already told you. You go to a teacher and learn. What is the benefit? This is the ultimate benefit. If you want to say my life has been dhanyaha, if you want to say my life has been utterly fulfilled, I have lived well, my life has been a blessing to myself and to others. If you have to say that, then you should know what is this Atma. In the same Upanishad, Keno Upanishad, there is a verse which says, if you have got it, you have got the highest. If you have not got it, how unfortunate, because you have missed something tremendously. So this is my commitment and the commitment from everyone in Param Vedanta. We are here for one purpose, and that is to know who this Atma is, to claim I am Atma, and to understand and to celebrate being Atma. Somewhere later today, in today's class, you will hear about what is this? Arama. What is this Arama? When we come to that, we'll talk about later. I'm running out of time, but let me tell you, this is a question for us to answer. Where is this Atma located? So what is the answer? Atma is all pervading. But if you want to find out where it is in the cave of my heart or in my mind. Just like electricity is everywhere. But if you want to know if electricity is functioning, you need to use a tester and see from where it is functioning. So to Atma is everywhere. What is my relationship to Atma? So these are where the Mahavakyas come. The Mahavakyas of the scriptures say, Atma is my true self. It is my higher nature. And this is understood through the Mahavakya, I am Atma Brahma, and many other Mahavakyas. Now we come to another important topic. What is the nature of this knowledge, or why is this different from anything that we have studied in school or college? For example, when I go to a school or college, if I'm studying something remote, for example, I want to know about Kailash Manasarovar. So I go to the YouTube, I go to the internet, I get a lot of information. That knowledge which I have got indirectly, I have not seen it with my own eyes, but I've got indirect knowledge. That knowledge is called Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam. Now, one day, if I can go in front of Mount Kailash and I have that experience directly with my own eyes, then I can see, I can feel, I can touch, I can experience that place. Then it becomes direct to my sense organs. So the star can be many light years away, but then I can see it. It is pratyaksha. So when I'm able to experience through my own sense organs, now is Atma Vidya therefore Paroksha or Pratyaksha or something else? I know you know the answer. It is neither Paroksha nor Pratyaksha because it is about myself. And the word used is aparoksha. Why? Because Atma is not an object. Now, for example, I am seeing this computer in front of me. And because of my mind and sense organs, which are the instruments of knowledge, I'm able to see a computer in front of me, a camera, and all that. Now, the instrument that I use to know anything is called pramana. The knower who's using the instrument is called pramata. The object, the computer in front of me, is called prameyam. And when I use the instrument and when I see the object and I get this knowledge, this is the computer, that knowledge is called prama. Now, there is one knowledge in this world which can never be an object. That means, who is the one who knows? My mind knows. That means there is a limited knower that is called pramata. But that pramata is able to see because of consciousness. That Atma is behind consciousness. If I can use my mind, is there something behind it? Physically, I mean, it is there everywhere. But that is called aprameya. That knowledge is called aprameya. Another important point, what is the method of knowing this knowledge? Go to a teacher like Swami Paramarthananda, an enlightened master, and listen to him. This listening is called Shravanam. Doubts will come. Clarify your doubts, Mananam. And then meditate on these words. Swamiji has told me, I am Atma Brahma. Difficult to believe, but I trust him. It is not a blind belief, it is a knowledge. It is a knowledge, and therefore I know now that I am Atma. And I have to live now, not as body mind, but as to live as I am Atma Brahma. What is the benefit of this knowledge? I've already told you, utter fulfillment. There is no greater fulfillment. Why? I'm done with the cycle of birth and death. This is complete liberation, and this is the declaration of Atma Vidya. I am Atma Brahma. With this background, let us see how Tattva Bodha introduces this topic. And the student comes and says, Tattva Viveka Kaha. What is this inquiry into the truth? And the teacher says, Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithyeti. That means this seer, that consciousness within me, is the only reality. Everything else, including my body, mind, and the world around me, is not so real. In translation, it will be like this. It is the firm conviction that the self is real and all other things is unreal. So this is called Atma Anatma Viveka. What is the nature of this Atma? Atma Tarhika. Okay, then what is this Atma? The student asks. So the teacher gives a technical answer. Satchidananda Swarupaha. So the student is not convinced. So the student knows now he can break up Sat, Chit and Ananda. So he breaks it up and asks the teacher, Sat Kim. What is this thing called Sat? And the teacher says, Kala Traya Api Tishtati Sat. What is that which remains in all three periods of time? All three periods of time, one interpretation is past, present, and future. But more important in Vedanta is that which is there in my waking state, that which is there in my dream state, that which is there in my deep sleep state, that which is there at all times, that is called Sat, that which is always there. Then the student asks, Chit Kim, what is this thing called Chit? And the teacher answers, Jnana Swarupam. You are aware of everything, no? That is Chit. Because of Chit, you are aware. So the teacher said, Satchit Ananda. So the student asks, Ananda Kaha? Sukha Swarupa. It is of the nature of bliss or happiness. Now, in summary, let me touch certain features of Atma. Atma is of the nature of consciousness. Chaitanya Swarupa. It is independently existent. For example, everything else, like my body, mind, is dependent on something else. But whereas the Atma is independently existing. Like the dream world is dependent on the dreamer. This world is dependent on me, the Atma. That is why once Atma Vidya comes, you're able to claim Mai eva sakalam jatam. Because of me, this world has come into being. My sarvam pratishtita. I am able to sustain this world. My sarvam layam yati. And this whole world also resolves into me. Tad Brahma Dvayam Asmayam Aham. So I am that independent nature. Nirguna. The objects around me and my body has various gunas. I have no gunas. I'm not limited by time. I'm not limited by space. I'm not limited by any object whatsoever. I'm Nithyaha. That means there is no death for me. I'm sarvagatha. I'm not localized. My body is localized, but I'm all pervading. And I am ekaha. You can add advitiya and so on. I'll conclude with one very nice verse from Tattva Bodha. And Tattva Bodha is trying to give you a conviction that, whatever is mine cannot be me. For example, my body is mine, my mind is mine, my intellect is mine, the bangle, my house, my earrings are all mine. What is mine is not me. And the words go like this. Madiyam Shariram, Madiyaha Prana, Madiyam Manaha, Madiya Buddhihi, Madiyam Ajnanam. Iti svena eva jnati tadyata madyatvena jnatam kataka kundala grihadikam saswat binnam tata panchakoshadikam saswat binna madiyatvena jnatam atma na bhavati. That means, just as my body, my prana, my mind, my intelligence, my ignorance, none of these are all known to me as mine. And whatever is mine, just like my bangle, my earring, my house, whatever is mine cannot be me. And therefore, not, whatever I experience and see are not me. This is the first fundamental principle. I am other than whatever I can see and experience. And this is brought to us by Tattva Bodha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.